Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this afternoon's program, Never a Spectator, The Political Life of Elsie Hillman. Ladies and gentlemen, for the case study project overview, please welcome University of Pittsburgh Institute of Politics Director Terry Miller.
Good afternoon, everyone. Michael, thank you for that beautiful video. It truly visualized Elsie's legacy as a skilled social actor and now is preserved for generations to come. It was lovely, thank you. Whew, what a beautiful house here tonight. I want to say good afternoon to all of our friends, colleagues, honored and distinguished guests. It's my great pleasure to be with you here today as we gather to recognize and honor one of our community's most beloved political and civic leaders, Elsie Hillman. Many of you are familiar with the Institute of Politics, but some of you are new to us. And I'd like to share with you that we've been in operation. We're in our 21st year of operation. So we have a long and deep history of creating opportunities for cross-sector leaders to understand their shared responsibility to improve the quality of lives of those who live here. We do this by providing educational programs, a neutral forum where educational programs could be held, and offering publications that address the pressing economic, social, and political issues that confront our region. At the Institute, we've come to recognize that the rich archival collections of our national and local dignitaries provides a unique opportunity for the Institute to expand the breadth and depth of its academic offerings to our constituents. To date, as was noted in the video, the Institute has developed case studies out of the archival collections of former Pennsylvania Governor Dick Thornburgh, where we looked at the state's response to the 3 Mile Island nuclear accident, and former U.S. Senator H. John Hines III, where we looked at market-based incentives in environmental policies. These case studies are being used in colleges, universities, and policy centers throughout the United States. In 2009, I began a conversation with Elsie about tapping her archival collection to do a case study that focused on civic leadership, civic engagement and leadership. Now, unlike the earlier case studies that focused on a pivotal event or a particular public policy, this study would illustrate that despite one's political, social, or economic background, individuals of any stripe can be productive agents for positive change. The case study, as was noted in the video, examines the art of a skilled social actor. This is an academic term that describes a person's ability to be other-focused, to form alliances with disparate groups, and to move beyond differences to seek solutions for a greater good. These all are things that Elsie does instinctively. As we began our work on the case study, conducting dozens of interviews with Elsie's longtime friends and colleagues, and starting to examine her archives, we saw quickly and clearly how Elsie's approach to forging positive change mirrored very much the work and the mission of the Institute of Politics. And now that we've completed this project, I'm convinced more than ever that we need institutions like the IOP and citizens, the ilk of Elsie Hillman, to help us to forge and close the gap in civil discourse and to encourage leadership and civic engagement. So why do I say that? It's no secret our nation faces serious challenges. We have a sluggish economic recovery, underperforming schools, a healthcare crisis, budget deficits, high unemployment, and sadly, elite party polarization that is polluting our political climate. All of these, especially the hyperpartisanship, lead to negative consequences. Legislative gridlock, poor public policies, a decline in civility and public discourse, and ultimately, public distrust in the legitimacy of government and its leaders. These challenges, especially the hyper-party polarization, are the reasons why the Institute felt the time was particularly right to examine the issues around civic engagement and leadership. And certainly, Elsie's story is a unique example of one woman's understanding that our fates are tied together, as Dr. King once said, in a single garment of destiny, and with this knowing, sought to work through public service and in a spirit of cooperation for a greater good. Now, you might imagine it was quite challenging to determine a focus for this case study because, as we know, Elsie's work has touched every aspect of our community. We settled finally on her role and rise in leadership in the Republican Party because it has been, as she has said, a primary focus of her life for more than 50 years. The study examines how Elsie rose in power within a transitioning Republican Party, a party she had enthusiastically joined in the 1950s to campaign for Dwight D. Eisenhower, a war hero, who supported equal rights for women, programs for the poor and elderly, while also empowering state and local governments. This was a party that Elsie could embrace. As a party moderate, she encouraged and supported women to run for political office, and she worked hard to improve the political participation of African Americans in her party. Now, she also has a knack for identifying individuals who she believed would make good, balanced, thoughtful leaders. She has been dubbed by some as a kingmaker. Some of those kings are in the room tonight, and they can attest to this. If Elsie is committed to you as a candidate, she will work tirelessly on your behalf. She will deliver key constituents, she will raise money, she will mobilize coalitions, and she will deliver voters to the polls. Elsie is able to accomplish these goals because she is a skilled social actor. She understands the importance of the linkages among, across, and between groups, the need to build and mobilize those groups, and the importance of finding consensus on issues of mutual benefit to all parties, and she does this always while promoting an environment of cooperation. While this study captures wonderful stories about how Elsie championed important political and social causes and got kings and queens elected to office, it also is a story about her concerns about the moral, social, and political implications of religious beliefs, about certain political and social issues that she supported that were not always in alignment with her party, and her sadness over time of having dedicated much of her life to a party that she came to believe had abandoned her. She would write to one Republican National Committee leader, "After 50 years of making the party a primary focus of my life, I am deeply saddened. I hope that you can hear the pain in my voice as well as the hope in my heart." Personally, as a leader of an institution that examines public policy and engages leaders in civil dialogues and seeks to find common ground to support positive outcomes for the citizens of our region, it is this hope in Elsie's heart for which I am most grateful. For it is out of this place that she works to create a more fair and equitable world for all people, especially the most vulnerable among us. Her inspired entrepreneurship, her gift to empathically relate to others, her dedication to social justice, and her unique ability to will into being the unimaginable makes her story an important study in leadership and civic engagement in any context. This study illustrates to me Elsie's wisdom, that the essence of democracy is based on understanding different experiences and perspectives, respecting those differences, and then building consensus toward a larger good. That it is only by making this crucial shift from tearing down and demonizing others for their differences to respecting them that we can get on with the vital work of finding creative solutions to our very real and urgent problems. Imagine an electorate that holds our political leaders to a higher standard of engagement. Imagine members of the media broadcasting stories of constructive conflict. Imagine candidates who conduct enthusiastic and respectful campaigns. Imagine Americans, all Americans, engaged with a renewed sense of being a part of a national dialogue. Elsie does. You know, it has been said that people are more interested in one's power of example than they are in one's example of power. I believe setting an example is not the main means of influencing others, that it is the only means. And certainly we could not ask for a better power of example in the area of public service and leadership than that of Elsie Hillman. This case study is a call to action to public service, a calling worthy of the best and the brightest of our students and our citizens. Elsie, Thank you for answering this call for the last 50 years. I am honored to be a part of answering this call through our work at the Institute of Politics. You are an inspiration to us all, and please, please, please keep doing what you do because we need you. Ladies and gentlemen, Elsie Hillman. I love you, Elsie. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct privilege and honor to introduce to you our Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Honorable Tom Corbett.